Okay, so there's a major recall out for M&Ms, one of America's all-time favorite candies. But hold on, before you go raiding your pantry, there's a really key detail you need to know. Let's break down who is actually affected by this.
So, just how big are we talking? Well, this recall covers more than 6,000 units. But here's the first interesting twist. This wasn't started by Mars, the company that makes M&Ms. It was issued by a company called Beacon Promotions, Inc. And that right there is a huge clue about what's really going on.
And yep, here's that crucial detail. This recall has nothing to do with the M&Ms you buy at the grocery store. It's specifically for candies that were bought in bulk and then repackaged by a third party for promotional giveaways.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Could you have one of these bags? I mean, they could be anywhere. Sitting in an office candy jar, maybe in a goodie bag from a conference, or even in your own pantry. Let's walk through how to check, starting with exactly where they were distributed.
The distribution was pretty widespread, covering 20 different states from one coast to the other. So if you live in any of these states, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to the next few details.
So what triggered this whole thing in the first place? Let's get into the specifics of why this alert was even issued.
This is the first thing that pops into your head with any food recall, right? Is the product itself unsafe or tainted somehow? Well, the answer here is really, really important.
And the answer is no. The M&Ms themselves are perfectly fine. The issue isn't with the candy at all, but with the promotional packaging it was put into by that other company, Beacon Promotions, Inc. The real problem is what's not on the packaging. Key allergen warnings. M&Ms can contain milk and soy, and of course, peanut M&Ms contain peanuts. For someone with a severe allergy, that missing information is a really serious danger. The FDA has a specific name for this kind of thing, a Class 2 recall. And the definition is actually kind of fascinating. It's for situations that can cause temporary or medically reversible health issues. This really highlights that while the candy itself isn't tainted, the danger for people with allergies is very, very real. Okay, so that brings us to the most practical part, right? How do you actually check if the M&Ms you have are part of this recall? So the recall affects two different M&Ms varieties, peanut and classic. Identifying the peanut M&Ms is pretty straightforward. But the classic ones? Yeah, that gets a little more complicated. Let's start with the peanut M&Ms. If you have a 1.3-ounce promotional bag, you're looking for these three specific things. The promotional label Make Your Mark, the lot code M1823200, and that best buy date of April 30, 2026. If all three of those match up, it's part of the recall.
Now, for the classic M&Ms, things get way more complex. See, they were used in dozens and dozens of promotional packages for a huge range of companies, from Subaru to Morgan Stanley. Because there's so many different fronts on these things, the most important thing you can do is flip the bag over and check the lot code.
This is exactly what you need to look for. Ignore whatever promotional brand is on the front, just flip that bag over and check the lot code and the best buy date. If you see one of these 4 specific combinations, your bag is part of the recall.
So you've checked your M&Ms and you've found a match. Or maybe you just want to know what the game plan is. Let's walk through the recommended steps. The action plan is super simple. First, check your packaging for those lot codes we just covered. Second, and this is the most important step, if anyone in your household has a milk, soy, or peanut allergy, just throw the candy away. But if there are no allergies to worry about, the M&Ms themselves are perfectly safe to eat.
This quote from the reports really gets to the heart of it all. This is a labeling error, not because they are inherently unsafe. The key takeaway here is not to panic. For most people, these M&Ms are perfectly fine. This entire recall is about protecting a specific group of people with food allergies.
And that brings us to a final thought. This M&Ms recall is a powerful reminder of how complex our food system really is, and how easily critical information like an allergen warning can just get lost in the shuffle. It really makes you wonder, how many other important recalls, big or small, just fly completely under the radar?